Evan Cole was not a lucky man. He lived on the edge of human space, where stations were old and dreams were cheap. He worked small jobs, cargo loading, scrap sorting, anything that paid enough to eat. Every night, he looked at the stars and wondered if his life would ever change. On one cold cycle, Evan sat alone in a crowded auction hall. The room was filled with voices from many worlds. Screens floated in the air, showing broken ships, burned hulls, and lost dreams. This was a deep space salvage auction. Most people here were pirates, traders, or scavengers. Evan was none of those. He was just desperate. He had one goal: buy a ship. Any ship. Without one, he would stay trapped forever. Ships came and went fast. Most were damaged. Some had dark stories. One ship was said to be cursed. Another smelled like death even through the screen. Evan stayed quiet. He waited. Then the final item appeared. The screen changed. The room grew silent. The ship was different. It was long and smooth, dark like deep space. No marks, no damage, no sign of age. It looked new but old at the same time. No one spoke. The auction voice announced it in a flat tone. Item 793. Unregistered vessel. Origin unknown. Crew history none. Interior sealed. Sold as is. Evan frowned. No crew history? That was strange. Even ghost ships had records. Someone whispered nearby. That thing is wrong. Another voice said, stay away. Bidding did not start. Seconds passed. Evan felt something tighten in his chest. He did not know why, but he could not look away. The ship felt quiet. Too quiet. Like it was waiting. He checked the price. Low. Very low. Too low. His hand shook. Every credit he had was barely enough. If he bid and lost, he would have nothing left. No food money. No backup plan. He should walk away. But his finger moved. I bid, Evan said. The room reacted at once. Voices rose. Someone laughed. Someone cursed. Another bidder joined, raising the price a little. Evan swallowed and raised again. His heart pounded hard. The other bidder stopped. Silence returned. Final call, the auction voice said. No one spoke. Sold. The word hit Evan like a shock. He had won. People stared at him as if he had just signed his own death order. Evan stood slowly, his legs weak. The screen faded. The auction moved on, fast like it wanted the ship gone. Minutes later, Evan received the transfer code. The ship was his. Dock Bay 47. Evan walked through the station halls toward the bay. Each step felt heavier than the last. The lights flickered once as he passed. He told himself it meant nothing. Dock Bay 47 was empty. The ship rested alone. Up close, it looked even stranger. The surface was smooth, like liquid metal frozen in place. No rust, no dust, no name. The door had no handle. Evan hesitated. Here goes nothing, he whispered. Evan could not move. The alien woman's eyes were open now. They glowed faintly, like distant stars. The blue light around her faded, and she slowly lowered onto the floor of the chamber. The room was silent, too silent, as if the ship itself was holding its breath. Evan took one step back. I didn't know you were here, he said. His voice sounded small in the wide space. The woman's head tilted slightly. She studied him not with fear, but with deep focus. Her eyes moved over his face, his hands, his clothes. When she spoke again, her voice was calm, but heavy with meaning. You have awakened the vessel, she said. By law, you are its master. Evan shook his head. No, I just bought it. I didn't mean to wake anyone. The ship hummed softly, almost like a reply. The woman closed her eyes for a moment. When she opened them again, something had changed. There was sadness there, and relief. My name is Selah, she said. I am of the Alari. Evan swallowed. He had heard the name before. The Alari were not a myth. They were rare, ancient, powerful. People said they ruled the stars long before humans left Earth. What are you doing in here? Evan asked. Selah looked around the chamber. I was hidden, she said. Protected. Waiting. Waiting for what? For you. That answer sent a chill through Evan's body. Before he could speak, the ship shuddered. Red lights flashed along the walls. A sharp sound echoed through the halls. Sayla's head snapped up. They have found us, she said. Who? Evan asked quickly. Hunters. Those who seek this ship. And me. The ship's voice spoke for the first time. It was not loud, but it was everywhere. Threat detected. Evan felt his heart race. I don't know how to fly this thing. Sayla stepped closer. You do not need to. The ship recognizes you. The floor beneath Evan's feet lit up. Symbols wrapped around his boots, then faded. Bond confirmed, the ship said. Evan stared at Sayla. What bond? Her expression was serious now. The ship accepts only one master. It chose you the moment you touched it. I didn't choose anything, Evan said. You did, she replied softly. Even if you did not know. The ship shook again. This time harder. Enemy vessels approaching. Through a nearby window, Evan saw shapes moving in the dark. Ships, black and sharp like blades. They circled slowly. They will kill you, Sayla said. And they will take me. Evan's chest tightened. He had never been in a fight. He was a worker, a nobody. What do we do? He asked. Sayla played. Evan did not sleep. The ship drifted in silent space, far from the last battle. Soft lights followed him wherever he walked, as if the ship feared losing sight of him. Every sound felt louder in his mind. Every thought felt heavier. Husband. The word echoed again and again. Evan stood near a wide window, staring at the stars. He had wanted a ship. That was all. Now he was bonded by alien law to a woman from an ancient race, flying a vessel that could erase enemies with a single thought. This is insane, he muttered. You are not wrong, Sayla said. She stood a few steps behind him. She moved with quiet grace, like someone used to command and danger. Her presence made the air feel calm, but also tense. Evan turned to face her. There has to be a way out. Sayla studied him for a long moment. There is no unbonding, she said. Not without death. Evan froze. Whose? Both, she answered. Silence filled the room. Evan ran a hand through his hair. So that's it? I'm trapped. Sayla stepped closer. No, you are bound. There is a difference. He laughed once, bitter. Doesn't feel like one. The ship's lights dimmed slightly, as if reacting to his mood. You must understand the law, Sayla said. The royal vessel is alive, carries will, memory, and duty. It chooses those who act without greed or fear. I was scared, Evan said. I still am. That is why it chose you, she replied. Only those who feel fear can act with courage. Before Evan could respond, the ship gave a sharp warning tone. Multiple warp signals detected. Sayla's eyes hardened. They are coming faster than I feared, she said. A holographic image formed in the air. Large ships appeared, marked with symbols Evan did not recognize. They moved with control and purpose. Who are they? Evan asked. The Car Syndicate, Sayla replied. Hunters, slavers. They sell living weapons. Evan's stomach turned. Like you. Yes, she said quietly. The ship shifted direction on its own, moving away from the incoming threat. They will not stop, Sayla continued. They believe humans are weak, easy to break. Evan clenched his fists. They don't know humans very well. Sayla looked at him with surprise. No, she said. They do not. The ship suddenly slowed. What is it doing? Evan asked. Sayla frowned. It is waiting. For what? For your command. Evan stared at the glowing space around him. I don't know how to fight fleets. You do not need to fight like them, Sayla said. Fight like a human. The enemy ships drew closer. Evan could see weapon ports opening. His heart pounded, but his mind cleared. Can this ship hide? He asked. Yes. Can it move inside their formations? Yes. Evan nodded. The first Stellari ship arrived without sound. It did not tear space apart like human drives. It simply appeared, calm and massive, glowing with soft gold light. Evan felt its presence before he saw it, like pressure on his chest. Sayla stood beside him on the command deck. Her posture was straight, her face calm, but her hands were tight at her sides. "They are close," she said. "Too close." The ship slowed on its own. Authority signal detected, it announced. A shape formed in the air. A tall figure appeared, made of light and shadow. Its eyes burned bright. "Sayla of the Ilari," the figure said. "You have broken sacred law." Sayla lifted her chin. "I followed it." The figure's gaze shifted to Evan. "This is the human?" it asked. Evan felt the weight of that stare. He had faced pirates and hunger, but never something like this. Still, he stepped forward. "Yes," Evan said. "I'm Evan." The figure said nothing for a long moment. "You are untested," it said at last. "Unworthy." Sayla's voice sharpened. "The ship chose him." "The ship is a tool," the figure replied coldly. The deck shook. The ship's lights flared bright white. "Correction," the ship said. "I am not." Silence fell. Evan felt something change. The ship was not just reacting anymore. It was standing with him. The figure narrowed its eyes. "This bond threatens balance." Evan swallowed. "I didn't ask for this." "No," the figure said. "But you accepted it." Enemy markers appeared around them. Smaller Ilari escort ships moved into attack positions. Sayla turned to Evan. "They are testing you," she said softly. "If you fail, they will take me." Evan clenched his jaw. "Then I won't fail." The ship waited. Evan took a deep breath. "No weapons," he said. Sayla looked at him in shock. "Evan." "Trust me," he replied. The ship complied. The Ilari ships moved closer. Energy built around them. Evan stepped forward again. "If you think humans are weak," he said, "then watch." He closed his eyes. He did not think of fighting. He thought of endurance. The ship responded in a way even Sayla had never seen. Energy spread outward, forming a field that bent incoming force away. The Ilari attack struck, then slid past, harmless. The escort ships pulled back in confusion. The figure's voice hardened. "You defend, not attack." "Humans survive," Evan replied. "That's how we win." The ship pulsed. One escort ship moved too close. The field twisted space around it, trapping it without harm. The message was clear. "I don't want war," Evan said. "But I won't give her up." The figure studied him in silence. Sayla's eyes were wide. She had fought her whole life. She had never seen power used this way. The figure finally spoke. "Release the ship." "No," Evan said. "Then you choose conflict." "I choose responsibility," Evan answered. The ship echoed his words. Bond accepted. The silence after the Ilari ships left felt heavy. Evan stood alone on the command deck, staring at the empty stars. His body still felt tense, as if the threat might return at any moment. The ship moved slowly now, calm again, but not asleep. Sayla watched him from across the room. "You did not have to do that," she said. Evan let out a slow breath. "Yeah," he replied. "But I wanted to." She stepped closer. "The council will not forgive defiance. You have made yourself an enemy." Evan turned to her. "I've been someone's enemy my whole life. Poor people always are." Sayla did not understand the words fully, but she understood the meaning. "You could still leave," she said quietly. "I can guide the ship away from human space. You could go back to your life." Evan laughed once, without humor. "Back to what?" She did not answer. The ship hummed softly, reacting to their silence. "There is something you must know," Sayla said after a moment. "The bond between us is changing." Evan frowned. "Changing how?" "At first it was law," she said. "Duty, survival. But the ship responds differently now. Stronger, faster." Evan felt it too. The ship no longer felt like a stranger. Felt familiar. "That's bad?" he asked. "For the galaxy," Sayla replied. A sudden alert broke the moment. "Transmission incoming." A face appeared in the air. Human. Clean clothes. Official tone. Evan Cole, the man said. This is Commander Hale of the Human Trade Authority. Evan's stomach tightened. What do you want? You are in possession of alien property classified as a high-risk entity, Hale said. We are offering you protection and wealth in exchange for cooperation. Sayla stiffened. What kind of cooperation? Evan asked. Hand over the alien, Hale replied. You walk away rich and free. The words cut deep. Sayla said nothing. She did not look at Evan. She waited. Evan felt anger rise in his chest. She's not property. Hale sighed. You're emotional. Think clearly. Humans are not ready to challenge the galaxy. Evan thought of his old life. Empty rooms. Cold meals. Being invisible. Then he thought of Sayla standing beside him in battle. Trusting him with power she barely understood. I've thought clearly my whole life, Evan said. That's why nothing ever changed. Hale's face hardened. This is your final chance. Evan ended the transmission. The ship sealed the channel. Sayla looked at him slowly. You just cut ties with your own kind. They cut them first, Evan replied. The ship surged forward. Moments later, warning signals flared. Multiple factions had locked onto them. Pirates, empires, corporations. The summons came without warning. The ship slowed in open space, not by Evan's command, but by its own will. The stars ahead twisted into a wide circle of light. Ancient symbols burned across the void. Sayla stiffened. They are forcing a convergence. Evan felt the pressure in his bones. What does that mean? It means judgment, she said. There is no refusal. Space folded. When it opened again, they were no longer alone. Great vessels surrounded them. Some were Ilari. Others were shapes Evan had only seen in old records. Long, sharp, massive, representatives of many powers. At the center floated a single structure, made of light and crystal. The Star Court. Evan swallowed. So, this is everyone. Yes, Sayla said quietly. This is where wars begin, or end. The ship guided them forward. A platform of light formed beneath Evan's feet. Sayla stood beside him, her expression unreadable. A voice spoke from everywhere. Evan Cole of humanity. Step forward. Evan took a breath and stepped ahead. You stand accused of unlawful bond, destabilization of balance, and unauthorized command of a royal vessel, the voice said. Evan looked up at the vast emptiness. I didn't steal anything. A ripple moved through the court. Explain, the voice commanded. Evan spoke slowly. He chose simple words. Honest ones. I was poor. I bought a ship. I didn't know she was inside. But when danger came, I didn't run. The silence deepened. You were offered safety, another voice said. Why refuse? Evan clenched his fists. Because safety that costs someone else isn't safety. It's just fear wearing a mask. Sayla's breath caught. The voices shifted. You are weak, one said. You command no fleets. Evan nodded. That's true. You rule no worlds. Also true. You hold no power. Evan looked at Sayla, then back to the court. I hold my word, he said. The ship pulsed. Energy flowed through the platform, reacting to his voice. A massive figure formed from light. An ancient Ilari elder. The bond cannot be undone, the elder said. But it can be judged. Sayla stepped forward. I accept judgment. No, Evan said. He moved in front of her. I do. The court stirred. You would take her punishment? The elder asked. Yes, Evan replied without pause. Sayla grabbed his arm. Evan. He shook his head. I chose her. That means I choose the cost too. The ship's glow intensified. The elder studied Evan for a long moment. The galaxy did not change all at once. At first, nothing seemed different. The stars still burned. Trade routes still flowed. Empires still watched one another with quiet fear. But beneath it all, something had shifted, like a deep current changing direction. Evan stood on the observation deck, hands resting on the clear surface before him. The ship drifted peacefully through open space. No alarms, no threats, just silence and light. Sayla stood beside him. "The court has ended," she said, "but its echo will travel far." Evan nodded. "Good. People should hear it." She looked at him. "You could have walked away at the end. They would have allowed it." "I know," Evan replied. "Why didn't you?" He thought for a moment. Because for the first time, something mattered. The ship hummed softly, warm and steady. They had days now. Not of hiding, not of fighting, just moving, learning, talking. Sayla told Evan stories of her people. Of long lives spent guarding power they no longer understood. Of bonds made by rule, not by choice. Evan told her about Earth. About crowded cities and empty nights. About humans failing again and again, yet still trying. "You are strange," Sayla said once, almost smiling. "Yeah," Evan said. "We hear that a lot." The ship responded to both of them now. It no longer felt divided, felt whole. A message arrived as they passed near human space. Not a threat, not an order, an invitation. Humans wanted to talk. So did others. They did not answer right away. Instead, they stopped near a quiet system filled with blue light and drifting ice. The ship slowed and opened its inner chambers. "This place," Sayla said softly, "was meant for union." Evan's heart beat faster. "Union as in?" "Yes," she said. There was no ceremony forced upon them. No watchers. No law standing over their heads. Only choice. Sayla faced him. "The bond is complete by law, but not by heart." Evan met her gaze. "Then let's do it right." She reached for his hand. The ship glowed. Light wrapped around them, not binding, not claiming. Just connecting. For the first time, Sayla felt something new. Not duty. Not command. Belonging. Across the stars, sensors reacted. Not with fear, but with wonder. The ship's signal changed, carrying something unknown. Hope. News spread fast. A human and an Ilari had not conquered anything. They had chosen each other. Some feared it. Others followed it. Trade routes opened. Talks began. Old rules bent. Not because of power, but because of trust. Evan and Sayla did not become rulers. They did not build an empire. They traveled. They listened. They stood between worlds when words failed. And whenever conflict rose, the story was told. Of a man who only wanted a ship. Of a woman who had lived alone inside power for too long. Of a bond born not from conquest, but from choice. One night, Evan stood alone again, watching the stars. Sayla joined him. "Do you ever regret it?" she asked. He smiled. "I bid on a ship," he said. "I didn't know what I was buying." She leaned against him. "And what did you win?" Evan looked out at the endless light. "A future," he said. "For both of us." The ship drifted on. And for the first time in a long age, the galaxy did not fear humanity. It welcomed it. Because humanity did not reach for the stars to rule them. The stars reached back and chose humanity.